to. Come watch the Rabbit, let's watch the Rabbit, bringing entertainment to me and you. Come watch the Rabbit, let's watch the Rabbit, it's not hard to do. Get ready because the stream is starting now.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another JRabbit87 stream. I am your host, JRabbit87, and I hope everybody is having a good day today. And you see in the background, with a burrito in hand, is my hashtag wonderful wife, Firebird10. Now, she did just wake up from a nap, and we have obviously just started eating dinner. So, the first few matches, I might be quiet as I will be eating and not commentating. So, I apologize about that. But I'll try to keep my eating on camera and on sound limited to as much as I possibly can. Um, Despite all that, we still have a great show for you guys today. Now, I know that the schedule says Polka Sunday, and I'm sorry that I missed our Tuesday wrestling stream. Um, but I believe if you look, it does say, yes, I just confirmed, it does say wrestling because we are having that wrestling stream that was supposed to happen on Tuesday today. I wanted 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it was going to be of actual wrestling. I'm going to get that. So, I'm sorry about the Pokemon lovers. Poke Sunday is not gone for good. This isn't the first time, probably won't be the last time that Poker Sunday has to get pushed aside for wrestling or for something else. But hey, that just means more time for Pokemon once we get to it. um, Now that all of that is said, and my apologies are given and all that, let's go ahead and get into our commands. As always, we're sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He has blessed both me and my wife extremely greatly, and we want to make sure that we return his blessings. We also want to say a huge thank you to everyone that joins me today. For our stuff and links and stuff, we'll start that off right there with that link to Discord. Here's a link to YouTube and a link to TikTok. All of those are different ways that you can help stay connected with us, rewatch, past stuff and all that other good stuff. Last and of course not least are ways to help support the stream right here and right now. As always, if you don't know, nothing is ever required, but everything is very much appreciated. Alright, now that we've gone through that, it is time to get right into things. We know that Candice LeRae won the 8-woman over-the-top rope battle royal and is next in line to challenge Chelsea Green for the RWF Women's European Championship. And she will do that at Rabbit Mania, as we are on the final road to Rabbit Mania. That is our next big event, the biggest event in Rabbit Wrestling Federation. As always, Piper Niven has stepped in and said, I am a former women's European champion, I am a former women's world champion, and my best friend is the current women's European champion. If you want to have any chance of fighting her, you gotta go through me. And that match starts off this whole thing coming up next. huge victory here for Candice LeRae. You know that is going to help her confidence leading up to that title match. And I'm hoping during the second match I'll finally be able to finish my burrito. That way I can start doing more commentary for you guys. Again, I apologize about there being no commentary so far, but I would assume you guys would prefer that rather than munching noises. Well, coming up next, Abyss. The monster Abyss has finally won himself a number one contendership spot since debuting here in RWF. And it just so happens to be against another very hardcore, not just icon, but legend, Terry Funk. Now, Terry Funk and members of the original ECW have formed a new stable called Team Hardcore. So Abyss will be challenging each members of Team Hardcore. Now he's not putting, the number one contendership on the line here. Just, I guess, more of a preparation, kind of like what we just saw with the whole Piper Niven thing. And he starts it off by going one on one with the Sandman. Coming up next. All right, I am finally done with my dinner so I can get to the commentating. This has been one heck of a match. I honestly did not expect a five-star match out of these two, but we sure are getting one. Going for the Rolling Rock a second time. But Abyss right there and going for a second shock treatment. Into the cover. And there it is.
Here is your winner. He's the monster,
Abyss getting a big win here and perhaps showing Terry Funk that he might need to fear the monster. The Monstar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next up we get into the War of Momentum. That's right. The War of Momentum over both the men's and women's tag team championships, with the winning team who gets the most wins will be able to pick a stipulation or even choose to not have a stipulation. We'd start with the men's, as coming up next it's Johnny Gargano versus Jimmy Uso.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the Usos from San Francisco, California, weighing in at 251 pounds, Jimmy Uso.
Former Intercontinental Champion Jimmy Uso. Looks like he's switched up his shirt from the I'm the One to back to his Down Since Day One-ish shirt, but he still has Big Jim on the back.
And his opponent, representing DIY from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing
comes Johnny Gargano of DIY, or as we here in RWF know him, the Ketchup Crew. Jimmy Uso, of course, came off of that very impressive run in the United States title tournament. Coming, I mean, he was like, what? He wasn't semifinalist, but he was like close, I want to believe, yeah. Because it was like, actually, you know, he made it to the semifinals. Because it was him and Rob Van Dam. And then he lost to Rob Van Dam, and Rob Van Dam went on to face Damian Priest in the finals. So yeah, Jimmy Uso, fresh off of that, we had heard rumors that him and his brother were going to team up again. I honestly didn't believe it because Jimmy's whole thing recently has been that he's done with the bloodline. He's done being a tag team competitor. His shirt even said, "I'm the one," because he always believed that there wasn't going to be any more "we the ones," because he was the one. But apparently, him and his brother have decided to put their differences aside and team together one more time, and their reunification seems to be good because they did win the number one contendership spot. And, well, here we are in the War of Momentum. There's a big spear by Jimmy Uso trying to put Johnny Gargano away, but only got that 2 count. Meanwhile, you have Johnny Gargano, who is also a former Intercontinental Champion in his own right. So we'd have 2 former Intercontinental Champions facing off here tonight. Of course, one of the few titles that has eluded Johnny being the men's tag team titles. Him and Tommaso Ciampa finally able to capture the tag team titles and add that to their repertoires. Funny enough, those are also titles that have eluded the Usos. Both Usos having success in the singles division, but they have never won the tag team titles. Will this repairing finally get them their tag team titles? Of course, they have to go through this War of Momentum first with whoever getting the most wins, getting to pick a stipulation if they want a stipulation, and what that stipulation would be. And the big diving neckbreaker there by Johnny Gargano trying to put this one away, but a kick out at 2. Back and forth action between these two. Both incredibly talented, gifted athletes. And here's another thing too is normally this is all about, good guy, bad guy, but both of these teams are cheered by our fans here. No one is really a bad guy in this moment. So we get just for a change, we get just pure athleticism with no ego on display. Double kick combination there by Gargano, looking for the cover, and he got it.
Here is your winner, Gargano.
Gargano getting the first point in the War of Momentum. A huge step for Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano getting that first point. Now, can Tommaso later on keep up and get the next point? Or will main event Jay tie things up? Well, before we can answer that question, we're turning things over to the women's division as Nikki Cross of the White Sisters takes on China. And here she comes, the representation of Sister Abigail, or I'm sorry, Abby the Witch. Not really Sister Abigail, but still, Nikki Cross in her most bizarre state to date. She, of course, has reformed her alliance with fellow Wyatt sister Alexa Bliss. And the two have become the number one contenders to the Women's Tag Team Championships.
Representing the powers of pain from Redondo Beach, California, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, the ninth wonder of the world, China!
And boy, what an uphill battle does Nikki Cross have here tonight. Former three-time Women's World Champion, and now one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. Part of the Powers of Pain. And what an interesting first title defense for the Powers of Pain. having to go against the Wyatt sisters. But if anything, besides the fact of just how powerful the powers of pain are, the one thing that you could really say is in their favor is the fact that neither Alexa nor Nikki have held any titles here in RWF, while the Powers of Pain have now dominated both the singles and tag team division. Because, of course, as I mentioned, China being a former three-time women's world champion, Rhea Ripley is also a former two-time women's European champion. And you also can't knock the fact that Rhea Ripley was actually the very first ever women's European champion. But despite all of this, Nikki and Alexa have had more time as an actual team. Yes, they may have not won tag team titles here in RWF. They have won tag team titles in other companies before coming to RWF. The lights just went out there, and Nikki Cross from behind. Count of two there, and it looks like China's gonna try to end this thing, but Nikki Cross catches the leg. Cross neck breaker there by Cross into the cover, but only a one count. Spinning neckbreaker by Cross into the cover. And a kick out at 2. Beautiful springboard moonsault there. Nikki Cross using that athleticism to her advantage. Big clothesline reversal as China looks to get back into this. Hey, welcome in, Bruda. What I miss? So far, you've missed Candice LeRae getting a victory over Piper Niven, Abyss getting a victory over the Sandman, Johnny Gargano getting a victory over Jimmy Uso to get the first point in the War of Momentum for DIY, and now we are currently on Nikki Cross versus China to see who gets the first point in the War of Momentum on their thing. Greets to the bird and the rabbit. Greets. And that kick out at 2. I approve of these results. Fair. Big power bomb by China, but it looks like she's not done here. China with the pedigree into the cover. Oh, kick out at 2.9. Big slam by Nikki Cross into the cover, but it's still not enough. A kick out of 2. And it looks like Cross isn't done here. But a reversal by China. Back and forth between these two ladies. Neither one wanting to give the other an inch. Cross going for a cover. And a kick out of 2. China able to battle out. Big power slam by the 9th wonder of the world. Yet another power bomb by China. China looking for a second pedigree. She hits it into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner, the 9th wonder of the world, China!
And a good night, a good start of the night for the champions. As both the men's and women's tag team champions able to get that first point in the war of momentum. But that still leaves the question. Can their partners make it 2-0? Or will the opposition be able to tie up the results? Well, coming up next, we take a small break from the war of momentum as we have a bit of an interesting situation. So, Bray Wyatt, as you all may or may not remember, used his darkest version of his darkest persona. Not just the Fiend, but what is now being called the Abomination of the Fiend. He used that to win an 8-man over the top rope battle royal to earn his way to the number 1 contendership spot to face the new RWF United States Champion Damian Priest at Rabit Mania. In a shocking turn of events, Priest has issued a challenge. A challenge that Bray Wyatt has accepted. Now, this is not a title match. It is also just a regular one-on-one match. But ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, it is going to be Bray Wyatt versus Damian Priest. And instead of the title being on the line, Priest has issued a different kind of challenge. He has said, quite frankly, he doesn't want Bray to use his mind games. He doesn't want to face the Fiend. He doesn't want to face NWO Wolfpack. He doesn't want to face the Firefly Funhouse, or any of that. He wants to face Bray as just Bray. So, the following match is exactly that. If Damian Priest wins against Bray being just Bray, because he has also said that during this match, Bray needs to just be Bray. So, and Bray has apparently agreed to all this. If Damian Priest wins, then at Rabbit Mania, Bray cannot be the Fiend. He cannot be the abomination of the Fiend. He cannot be the Firefly Funhouse Fiend. Or any of that. He has to just be Bray. However, if Bray wins, then Damien has given him full access. He can open the Firefly Funhouse door. He can do whatever he feels that he needs to do and be whatever persona he wants to be at Rabbit Mania. This match comes next. And of course, as Bray Wyatt is about to enter through the swamp door here, you gotta think just how big all of this is for Bray Wyatt. I mean, think about it. He is a former heavyweight champion, a former intercontinental champion, a former pure honor champion, a former men's tag team champion. The only title that has eluded him is the United States title. Bray has proven that when he sets his mind out to something, he usually tends to get it. Honestly, I was super surprised when he lost in the round 1 of the United States title tournament. As I was saying, the only title he has not held is the United States title. At Rabbit Mania, Bray Wyatt looks to make history. Because if he can win and defeat Damian Priest for the United States title, then Bray Wyatt will go down in the history books as the very first Grand Slam champion. And here comes a man who, before recently, has never held a title here in RWF. He was entered after. Okay, let me try this again. After the United States title was forced to be vacated because a bunch of firings happened, and the current champion Jalen Brunson unfortunately was released from his contract and stripped of the United States title, a 16-man tournament would happen with this man, Damian Priest, going all the way to be crowned the new United States champion. And now at Rabit Mania, he faces his first challenger. He said he's not scared of Damian Priest. Damian Priest says he's not scared of Bray Wyatt. He just doesn't want to deal with the mind games. He wants a fight. He wants Bray to be Bray. And that's what this match is all about. Plus, if Bray can get a win here, how much confidence will that give him going into the title match at Rabit Mania? Bray Wyatt has been in control of this match, perhaps showing that he doesn't even need the Fiend or one of his altered personas. And it's a jackknife cover by Priest, but reversal into a cover of his own, and another reversal, and another reversal, and another reversal. You get a reversal, and you get a reversal, and it's done. Fez press by Wyatt, but I'm missing the elbow drop. Back and forth action as Wyatt gets back in control here. That reversal thing is like some kind of game they play at the funhouse. Right. Sister Abigail by Bray, but instead of going for the cover, Bray's going to the middle rope. Hits a big old splash. Count of 6. Bray throwing Damian Priest back in the ring. Obviously knows that he can't win or doesn't want to win via count out. Priest getting back in control here. And Damian Priest removes the shoulder strap, says it's about to get serious. And there's that standing complete shot. Priest not done himself, going to the middle rope, hitting his own big splash. Trying to show Bray, anything you can do, I can do better. And now Priest with the South of Heaven choke slam into the cover. And Bray kicks out at 2. And there it is.
Here is your winner, Damian Priest.
And on this night, Damian Priest has won, which means the confidence of El Champion, a slight new, the confidence of El Champion has just skyrocketed, but that also means that at Rabbit Mania, Bray has to just be Bray. What kind of thoughts are he going to be his, knowing that he can't use his personas now? He can't do his mind games. And the fact that Priest has a victory over Bray just being Bray. Well, with that, we return to our war of momentum, as coming up next, it's the Tomato Chomper himself versus the main event player.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Usos from San Francisco, California, weighing in at 242 pounds. Main event, Jey
And here he comes, former United States champion in his own right. Again, we only heard rumors that him and his brother had made up, and of course that got proven right when they reformed and won the number one contendership spot.
And his opponent, representing DIY from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 201 pounds, one half of the men's tag team champions, Tommaso Ciampa.
Here he is, a former RWF heavyweight champion in his own right, currently one half of the men's tag team champions. And of course, what an interesting situation that they have found themselves in. Very similar with the Damian Priest situation. The Faces of Fear losing the men's tag team championships against a team known as the Wolf Pack, consisting of a guy named Jose and a man named Dwayne. They were also on the list of fired stars, and they were stripped of their tag team titles. So we had a tag team tournament to crown new men's tag team champions, which was ultimately won by DIY. Two stars who had never held the tag team titles before, finally able to cross that off their bucket list. And like I said, Jimmy and Jey Uso, they have not been a team since last year. Or, no wait, yeah, last year's Survivor Series, where they briefly teamed up to face off against the Judgment Day, and the entire bloodline came back together. But Jimmy and Jey, after that, Jimmy and Jey went their own separate ways, with Jimmy saying that there was going to be no more bloodline, because he was tired of being. He said that it's always been we the ones, but it was honestly always I'm the one. As in, Jimmy Uso was the one who kept the family together, and he was tired of it. So they went their separate ways. So when we heard the rumors that the two brothers, Jimmy and Jey, had reformed an alliance, we thought it was just that, a rumor. And then surprised us all when, during the Fatal 4-Way number one contender match, Jimmy and Jey would come out as an alliance again. And not only would they reform their tag team alliance, they would go on to win the number one contendership spot. So now we have these two fan favorite teams gonna throw down at Rabit Mania. Fairy tale ending by Tommaso Ciampa into the cover. And I kick out at 2. You also got to think about the fact that Jimmy Uso has already lost earlier tonight, meaning that if Jay wants to tie things up, he needs to win here tonight. A second fairy tale ending might just put an end to the Usos. No! Jay able to kick out. What's interesting about the Usos is just how much similarities they have to DIY. Both members, so both teams being singles stars holding singles titles. And DIY, until of course they were able to finally to win that tournament to become tag team champions, had never been tag champions. And the Usos have never been tag team champions here in RWF. Almost a count out victory there for Uso. Time to get back into the ring. Tommaso Ciampa in control. Going for a third fairy tale ending into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner, Tommaso Ciampa.
Well, the Ketchup Crew must have their packets raised here tonight, as both members of DIY have won their matches here tonight. Woo! Ketchup Crew rise up, packets raised. Yes, both members of DIY getting both points in the War of Momentum. I can't wait to see Jimmy's new outfit. Since you weren't here, that's it. It's the same exact outfit, just um he's got a chain that he's wearing, and it says down since day one-ish. So, like I said, other than the chain and the logo, it's the same. It's the same exact outfit. Oh, okay, I can dig it. Um, well, now it's time to see if Alexa Bliss can tie things up, or if the Powers of Pain are going to go 2-0. That match is coming up next.
from Columbus, Ohio, Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss, always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. She has had several number one contender spots. She has had several chances at titles, but has yet to actually win any. Will Rabbit Mania be her time? Former two-time Women's European Champion, and now one half of the current Women's Tag Team Champions, a title that has kind of eluded her because she's never been a part of a tag team. Finally, finding someone who wants to be a tag team, and it just so happens to be someone that she idolizes, someone that has taken a mentor role and become her friend out of pure, mutual, brutal respect. And this match is underway. It is up to Alexa Bliss to tie things up here tonight. Or Rhea Ripley, if she wins, then just like we saw before, will end up making the War Momentum 2-0. And I will be back momentarily. I do need to go and use the restroom. I will be right back. Alright, I am back. It looks like this match is still going on as Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley trade blows here, trying to take the other one down to gain that all important point in this War Momentum match. Safe travels. I just saw that. Thank you, Bruda. I did indeed have the travels of safeness. Rhea Ripley with the riptide into the cover. Oh, that kick out at 2 point. No. Oh, yeah. And now this match spills to the outside of the ring. Close call, almost a 10 count, but Rhea made it back into the ring. Rhea trying to use her power against Bliss. Back and forth action between these two ladies. And Bliss with the twisted Bliss from the top rope into the cover. But a kick out at 2. Alexa Bliss with her sister Abigail into the cover, and that's it.
Here is your winner, Alexa.
And Alexa Bliss ties things up, making it 1-1. All new. Well, whether you like it or not, the women, for the, at least the women's War Momentum, things are tied up 1-1. Coming up next, we have a bit of a interesting situation. Oh, I forgot to. Almost forgot to do that. We have a bit of an interesting situation. Reports are that during a one of the iconic poker games that the APA like to host on their time off, apparently a verbal argument broke out when someone pointed out that JBL was stripped of his championship, never defended his championship, and how his championship isn't even considered a championship here in RWF. which, of course, if you don't know what they're talking about, JBL was the $1 million champion for a little while. Meanwhile, his tag team partner has held one of the more honorable titles, the Pure Honor Championship, and even successfully defended it a time or two. So basically, they were pointing out that Farouk is the better of the two. This, of course, made JBL very, very angry, and him and Farouk actually got into a verbal over who was the better champion. This has led to this one-on-one match where JBL, and I quote, has said, "I guess I need to remind everybody of just how good, no, how great I am. Remember, I am a wrestling god." And tonight, and on the next episode of RWF, I'll remind everybody exactly who JBL is. That match coming up next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from New York City, weighing in at 290 pounds, John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL.
Well, it looks like JBL has gone back to his roots, so to speak, bringing out his old entrance music, bringing out the money falling from the rafter, wearing his attire that signified him being just the most jerkiest jerk in all of Jerktown. We were hoped that he would never go back. And apparently, that little scuffle over Farouk being a better champion has brought back out this JBL.
And his opponent from Warner Robins, Georgia, weighing in at 275 pounds, Farouk.
Farouk, former Pure Honor champion, which is what this fight is really all about. The fact that JBL has only been the $1 million champion, which is a title not recognized and was officially retired by votes from you all, my Rabit Rangers. These tag team partners about to go to war here. Take out their frustrations in a way only these two could do. Of course, JBL was once a member of a new. Okay, let me try this again. So, JBL was once a part of a stable called the Million Dollar Incorporated, or not. I'm sorry, my brain not wanting to work with me here today. He was a part of Money Incorporated when the Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase would reform his iconic stable, of course, making the stable up of Baron Corbin, who at the time was called Happy Corbin, a man named Cameron Grimes, JBL, and Shane McMahon. This team, of course, the Million Dollar Man would also have bring into RWF the $1 Million Championship, a title that the $1 Million Man made for himself during his time. The Money Incorporated, Happy Corbin and Cameron Grimes would become one time. What's it 2 time? Was it 2 time? No, it's just 1 time. They would become a 1-time tag team champions. And of course, Baron Corbin would be the first to turn his back on the team and challenge Ted DiBiase for the $1 Million Championship, which he would lose. He would not win that. Then JBL would eventually turn his back on the $1 Million Man and Money Incorporated, reforming his alliance with Farouk. And again, $1 Million Man would defend his $1 Million Championship against JBL, only to lose it against JBL. JBL would never defend that title and just kind of wear it around. Meanwhile, while he was doing that, Farouk would become and even successfully defend the Pure Honor Championship. And then you all, the Rabbit Rangers, were given a vote. And you all voted to go ahead and retire the $1 Million Championship, since it wasn't being used and wasn't being defended and it wasn't an officially recognized title. So JBL handed over the $1 Million Championship. And of course, it would be a little bit after that Farouk would actually lose the Pure Honor Championship. We have the 2 title histories there of these 2 men, which, like I said, has resulted in this match here. JBL returning to his villainous ways, wanting to prove that he was a better champion than Farouk was. Farouk hits the Dominator into the cover. And a kick out of 2. Big spine buster by Farouk. And Farouk hitting yet another dominator into the cover. And that's it.
Here is your winner,
Honestly, the better man won. Fair. Well, no matter what your argument is, at least for tonight, Farouk was the better champion and the better man. Well, moving right along, we have two number one contenders looking to battle it out in our semi main event of the evening. Oh, the night has gone by fast. I don't know what it is, but tonight is breezed by. But coming up next, it is Victoria versus Becky Lynch.
In the darkness, all you see are the eyes of a reaper coming for your life in the night. There's no light that will lead you. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. From the darker side. In the darkness, coming for your life. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. From the darker side. Yes, boy!
I ain't the lady to mess with.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, Victoria!
I ain't the lady to mess with. Y'all gon' pay the price for it. Big with your ass like the pocket.
here we go. The number one contender to the Women's United States Championship and the number one contender to the Women's World Championship are about to face off 1v1. And of course, you also can't forget that Victoria is the 2025 Rabbit Rumble Women's Rabbit Rumble winner. Match starting off hot here as Victoria gets the first strike. So, here are all the stats for this match. Victoria, 2025 Rabbit Rumble winner. That's honestly pretty much the only thing that she has going for her. Number one contender for the Women's World Championship will be facing Natalia at Rabbit Mania. Her opponent, Becky Lynch, former Women's World Champion, current number one contender to the Women's United States Championship, and will be facing Jade Cargill at Rabbit Mania. These two battling it out, trying to prove why they will end up leaving Rabbit Mania as champion. Beautiful top rope moonsault by Victoria. But went through the well a little bit too much, and Lynch got the knees up. Despite that, never mind. But just back and forth action between these two ladies. Victoria, of course, a staple from the PG era. Or actually maybe even right before the PG era. Widow's Peak by Victoria into the cover. Kick out at 2. Middle rope moonsault miss by Victoria as Becky Lynch tries to get back into this match. Fisherman suplex by Lynch. Reverse after reverse after reverse. Lynch looking for something big. Version of the manhandle slam into the cover. A kick out at 2. Victoria rolling to the outside of the ring. Oh, massive moonsault and miss by Becky Lynch. Huge sidewalk slam there by Victoria. Beautiful top rope moonsault all the way to the outside of the floor. And Victoria just unable to make the 10 count. She was right there. She was just literally, if she had one more second, she would have been able to slide back into the ring. And as much as we don't like ring countouts as a victory, they are indeed a victory. And on this night, the winner is Becky Lynch. It's Jay Cargill. Be on the lookout. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our main event of the evening. As you all know, Tyler Bate is the new heavyweight champion after defeating Ludwig Kaiser at our last big event. And now, which was Elimination Chamber, and now is set to face the winner of the men's 2025 Rabbit Rumble, Montez Ford. Coming up next, our main event, New Catch Republic versus the Street Profits.
Salta del medio, que por ahí viene Carlito.
former 3-time men's tag team champions. Montez Ford now gets his moment in the singles division. But before we get there, he's teaming up with Angelo Dawkins to try to get a little bit of momentum leading, a little bit more momentum leading in to Rabbit Mania.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 380 pounds, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, New Cat Republic.
And here they are, the current heavyweight champion and the current number one contender to the Intercontinental Championship. Now looks like we're not wasting any time as the number one contender and the heavyweight champion are starting this match out. Tag out to Angelo Dawkins. The Street Profits, neither one of them have ever won singles gold, but as a tag team, they have made history, being the only team in RWF history to hold the men's tag team champions on 3 separate occasions. Their opponents tonight, only one of them has held any title in RWF at all, and that is Tyler Bates, who is the current RWF heavyweight champion. Big spear there by Dawkins after the tag into Pete Dunne. Tagging in Montez Ford. Pete Dunne spoke to him earlier and he said that he's not worried about Umaga. He'll take care of Umaga at a later date. For now, he's here to back up his friend Tyler Bate in this tag team match. Tag out to Tyler Bate. Schoolboy cover. Only a 2 count. Cover attempt by Montez Ford, but only a 1 count. Tag out to Angelo Dawkins. There's a tag out to Pete Dunne. Tag back out to Tyler Bate. Big spine buster there by Angelo Dawkins, and there's the tag out to Montez Ford. Neckbreaker, spinebuster, neckbreaker combination into the cover, but Pete Dunne is right there to break it up. Tiger bomb by Bate, but this time it's Angelo Dawkins who breaks up the cover. Tyler Bate to the top rope. Took a little too much time taunting though. There's a tag out to Pete Dunne. Rolling blockbuster by Montez Ford. Tagging into Tyler Bate. And now Tyler Bate with that airplane spin. Into a cover. And a kick out at 2. Tag out to Pete Dunne. Cover. And a kick out at 2. Tagging into Angelo Dawkins now. Tag back out to Tyler Bate. Tiger bomb by Tyler Bate into the cover, but Montez Ford able to break it up. Another Tiger bomb into the cover. Kick out at 2.99999. Suplex straight through the table. There's a tag out to Montez Ford. A lot of close calls there, but the match continues. Tagging into Angelo Dawkins. Shades of Dawkins' own finishing move, but Montez Ford breaks up the cover. Time to get dizzy again. It's time for the airplane spin. And there it is.
Here are your winners, Pete Dunne and
and the New Catch Republic able to get the victory here tonight. Perhaps Tyler Bate sending a big, strong message to Montez Ford. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show for the evening. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. We should be live again. Yay, the Americanos, New Catch Republic win. We should be live again with more RWF this coming Tuesday, and hopefully next Sunday will be the return of Pokemon. Hopefully. So I hope you guys join me for that. As always, 7 o'clock. Excuse me, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All that good stuff. For now, I'm going to go ahead and do our commands and let you guys go for the evening. As always, we are sponsored by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who has blessed us very greatly. I want to make sure they return his blessings by giving him all the honor, glory, credit, and praise that he rightfully deserves. We also want to say a huge thank you. Thank you to everybody that joined me today. It means so much to me that you guys take time out of your busy days to come and hang out with me. Of course, a huge thank you also goes to our supporters, starting with my hashtag wonderful wife Firebird10, our amazing friends Nick and T, as well as our other friends Steve, Sean, and Danny, as well as our two digital artists responsible for our artwork, Amon Wolf of CNH Podcast and Z Fire Incorporated. Thank you all so much for everything. Discord. We have one of those. If you've not joined our Discord and you would like to, feel free to grab that link right there and come join us. That's where important announcements are announced, decisions are decided, discussions are discussed, wrestling results are resulted, chats are chatted, and honestly, I just love to have you there. Another place that we love to have you is over on YouTube. If you'd like to check out our past live streams or highlight videos, you can grab that link right there and come join us over on the Red Brand. Now, since it is all free and another way to help support, I do ask while you're over there, give the channel a subscribe, hit the bell icon to keep yourself notified, give the videos a like, and give them a comment because comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Another place you can find us over on TikTok. We only post our highlight videos there, so you can grab that link to go check those out if that's all you're really wanting to see. Again, while you're over there, since it's another way to help support and it's all free, if you don't mind, give the channel a follow, give the videos a heart, and give them a comment because comments are also good for the TikTok algorithm. Last but certainly not least are ways to help support the stream right here, right now, if you would like to do so. Always keep in mind that nothing is ever required, but everything is very much appreciated. With that, more information on how you can help the stream is in the chat, so feel free to read that at your leisure, and remember to do only what you're able and comfortable with doing. With that, I should see you guys on Tuesday. For tonight, I am JRabbit87, and I hope you all have a very good night.